Hello, hello, hello. It's Crafty Chris again for your Thursday night Scrap Your Scraps. Tonight we're just going to do a little demo with, I'm just straightening out my camera a bit, with paper like this, sectioned paper that you get left over from your layout kits or your bulk paper buys, whatever. So I'm going to show you what you can do with this kind of paper. So the first thing I do is I take off the zip strips on all the paper I had. I had 4 sheets of it. So I'm doing 2 different versions of what you can do with this paper. So I cut up one piece and I'm going to use the backs so that this is going to be mounted onto a 3x3 card. I think these are 3x3. And but we're going to do something on it first. So let me get my cutter and I'm just going to trim off. I can see the edge. I'm just going to trim off my edge, and then these, guess where they're going? Into my scraps. Alrighty, now I'm carefully going to cut down each line of the paper so that I don't have any color from the other side, and this is what I did for the other one as well. And we're just going to cut this down. Oops, sometimes it goes off alignment for some reason, and you just want to make sure that you do have it aligned along that edge. And then of course you go back in and trim it out. Okay, so I'm, for the sake of time, just going to show you what I did with a couple of these, the bigger ones, because they're a little less fussy cutting to do. And there we go. So I got a couple of big ones there that I can show you. So one of the things I did was so let's say I'm taking this paper. I want to make sure that whatever I put on there is going to pop up. So there's a couple of things I can do. I can make shaker cards. I can make popped cards. I can make silhouette cards. And what I mean by that is, let me just show you. So I'm going to punch a hole with my good punch. There we go. In here so that I can cut out the center of this card. And it's very hard. I always turn my punch over so I can see what I'm doing, and I can't get in far enough with this punch. So let's see if I can get in better with this punch. Yes, I can. So, and this is the crummy punch, so but it works good enough. Alrighty, so now I have my cut hole there. I'm going to pull out my fussy cutting scissors, which I have in a bag for another project, but I know it's there so I can find them easily. And now I'm just going to go up to the edge and I'm going to cut along the edge of my paper as neatly as I can, because I want to keep those frames, because sometimes I may use those frames. I don't care about the white so much, but I definitely care about the inside of the frame edge. And I can always trim if I need to make it nicer looking. Okay, so there's my flower out. Now I'm just going to trim up the inside of the frame. Since I'm here, no sense going back. There we go. A little bit of white showing. Gonna get some of that white off of there because it will show up if you use them as frames. No different than fussy cutting. Okay, there we go. So there's that. So there's two sides of every frame that I can use. I can use this side of the frame or I can use that side of the frame. Now I'm just going to quickly fussy cut this. Let me bring you down a little bit closer. And I'm not going to worry about getting super close to the edge. I just want to have just a little bit of white around it. And again, fussy cutting is best when you move the actual paper and not the scissors. I'll get into the detail up there in a few minutes. Just want to get the majority of the paper off. Okay, get rid of my scraps. And now I'm going to kind of go in, use my fancy scissors to give a little bit of detail, but I'm still keeping the white showing. And if I miss, I don't care. All right. Just being as careful as I can. Fussy cutting is not fun to watch, I know. But I wanted to show you how I do my fussy cutting. I find that once you get rid of all that excess paper really quickly, it's much easier to go in and fussy cut. Okay, and I'm just going to go in a little bit on these just to give them a little bit closer shave and some shape. There we go. So there's my fussy cut shape. Get all my cuttings off our work area. Okay, so I'm going to use this. It's got a stripe. I like horizontal stripes. Yeah, vertical is fine, but I like vertical, but horizontal is fine. I'm just going to simply do this. I'm going to pop dot the back of this with my 3D pop dots that I just had a minute ago. Oh, there we go. Nope, yep. Nope, those are pins. There we go. 3D pop dots. One there, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. And I can cut them in half if I want to use less of them. For this project, I'm just cutting them all. There we go. So there is the beginning of my first card, and then I just put that on top of another card base, a 3x3 card base. Now I do have the option of adding a frame to the background to make it more interesting. So I could add the frame that came with it and have the turquoise background, or I can add the back So there's a bunch of different opportunities there. If I'm going to do the frame, I would put the frame down first before I put down the 3D popped flower. So let's do one of those. So here's our flower again. I'm going to get a hole so that I can get my scissors in there to cut. And like I said, you can go in and trim any white that ends up showing up. After I've done my cutting. Okay, so there's my frame that's been cut. I'm going to grab one of my other pieces of paper. So I'm going to just fussy cut around the edge of this. It's not a lot of paper to get rid of, so I'm not taking that step on this. I'm just going to do it all at once. Very simple. And this time I'm going to use a frame. Now, I have a couple of options. I have a yellow frame, I have a turquoise frame. I could put turquoise, but then I end up with turquoise on that. I could use yellow. Not really liking that combo. Pink is not going to work. That's not going to work. So I am not using this frame right now. I am going to use something else. So pink and orange. I think I won't use the blue on that, won't use the yellow, so that's going to be a different one. Pink and orange. Nope, blue, pull out the blue in there, go around the outside. Could do this. Okay, if I did this, and that goes in there, I'm going to make this a pop-up card, or a shaker card. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is cut my acetate the size of my base, maybe just a little bit under. I can do that just eyeballing. There we go. So there's my piece of acetate. Then I got my shaker bits. I'm going to use these. And now I'm going to mock out where this guy is going to go. And I'm going to stick him down with glue tightly around the edges because I do not want anything to get caught underneath. So go around the outside edge, very close to the edge. and then a couple of little bits across the center. All right, now I have to line these two guys up because I've got to stick this right into the center of the project. There we go. Now I can take the frame away, press that down, make sure that's nice and secure. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, now we're going to build our frame. So we need to have strips. Let's see, where are my strips? Here we go. So we have some foam strips, and just pull off the top. Oh, these are too thin, so we're not going to use the thin ones. We're going to use the thick ones, which I don't seem to have. I put them away again. There we go. Okay, so our thick strip guys. Except they're too thick now. Okay, we're going back to the others. It's all a part of the decision-making process. So where were the ones I just opened? Okay, so we're going to double up on these because we need to make sure that we support the frame. So all right, so I want it to come across the edge. Okay, so we're going to do both the outside edge and the inside edge to make sure that nothing, and I'm just going to rip it off, nothing goes underneath the edge because you don't want it disappearing. There we go. And whoops, put this little bit here, and we're going to need a tiny little bit. So I'm just going to take two little bits, put one little bit here, make sure it doesn't show. There we go. And this little bit in there. Make sure it doesn't show. Now this. There we go. And then along the outside edge, I'm just going to follow the line of the stitching, because this is just to keep it from falling, from going flat. Now I just realized something. I just realized something. I had to put my this thing down first. Right. So we're just going to quickly pull up all of what we just did. Sorry folks, forgot the most important part. You've got to do that corner just slightly different. Now make sure that your acetate is down first, otherwise it won't work. So here's our acetate. Here's our, I'm going to glue our acetate onto our, make sure I put the pin back in the bottle. Going to glue our acetate onto our piece of cardstock frame. There we go. Then, this looks like an outside edge piece. Then we can glue this on top of that. This makes more sense now. Here. And this guy is going to go here. Whoops, my thing came off that, so that's fine. This I'm going to just put down straight, and then I'm going to put my sticky back on top. Whoops, that's not very straight. Because I just want to make sure I cover most of it, because I might have to use that little piece. I'm going to have to put some powder down on the inside of the plastic in here so it doesn't stick. Okay, so we're going to do this. And this can go in there. Like I said, the outside edge is not the most important, but the inside edges are. So we're going to put that there. That little piece goes in there. There we go. And this little piece, I'm just going to put right there. Okay, so we're going to keep everything covered, and I'm just going to now dust the inside, because I don't want anything to stick on the inside edge of the tape. It's not a bad idea to blow it around a little. Just take some off of there. There we go. And now we're just going to throw some of these in there. Try to make sure that they are upside down so you can see the proper side of the there we go. Spread them out. It's much easier when you have bigger ones than when you have littler ones. There's a couple of gems in here too that we really want to have. Oh, it doesn't matter, they're pretty shiny on both sides. Just, there we go. That guy over. Whoa, okay. This is when you need a pokey tool or the ends of your scissors to help you flip things over that are fighting you. Here we go. This guy needs a flip over. Can be the most frustrating part of your day. Those are gems. Everything looks good, except that guy. He needs a flip over. There we go. Oh, there's multiples there. You don't want that many. You just want one. So make sure you don't have multiples stuck together. Okay, so now everything's mostly flat. So now I'm going to pull up the sticky tape. Try not to do that. Bounce everything back upside down or right side up. Wow, that really did a number. There we go. So I'm going to stick my finger here so it doesn't bounce around too much. Pull up my tape on the outside and the inside. This is the trickiest part of the whole card making process. Now we've got a bunch of little bits of sticky here. There we go. Get off my finger. All right, now I'm just gonna make sure that we're all good on the plate. Don't want anything to stick to it like that, because once it gets sticky, it doesn't unsticky. Okay. Come on, guys. Work with me here. There. Okay. So now this is going to go face down because that's the side we want. We're going to line it up all the way around. And then we're just going to press lightly. And there's our shaker card. Okay. And once things get shaken around a little bit, they become less congested. There we go. All right, so there is your shaker card, and you just put that on the back of, or on the front of a 3x3 card base. So we have a very simple card that's popped up. We have a shaker card. Now we're going to do one more. And this one has a frame around the initial picture. We're going to do one more with popped and a frame. So let's see what we have here. That's going to disappear. That might work. Too many things, too many elements. I want to do one that's fairly simple. Okay, I'm just going to cut this one down quickly. Where are we? And then I can show you what I did using the other side. Those go there. Fussy cutting again. So I am going to fussy cut these things out. I will be right back. I don't want to drag you through it. Okay, we're back. So I've fussy cut that little flower out and some of these little doodads. Now I'm going to glue this frame to the back of that frame. Actually I can use, well, since I've got my glue, I'll use my glue. Move everything out of the way. A little bit closer to the edge there. Always in the corner to make sure that everything gets glued together. Alrighty, and now I'm just going to apply the top one to the bottom one. Flatten it. There we go. Popped up my biggie with my little pop dots. I'm not going to worry about too many pop dots on this one. Again, these are just small, like little thank you cards and stuff like that. So that should be enough. Peel those off. Okay, now I'm going to place this little guy within the frame. There we go. And I'm just going to turn these guys over and put a little bit of glue on the bottom of these. Just a dot. There we go. And, so I'm going to have to slide this into my hand. There we go. Put a little one here. And, oops. Bigger one up there. Maybe with a little one. And a, whoops. Big one there. Now, I don't know if that's the same as what was in the original, but it doesn't matter. It's my own version. And there you have another finished card. Now, it's very easy to just take some words, a sentiment of some sort, and just put it over top of the pop dot in the corner or on the frame in this one, and there's lots of space for a sentiment on the plainer ones. Now I can upscale these simply by adding some glue, glitter glue, and all kinds of other things, but I want to show you what I did with this side. So let's put these to the side. I'm going to put that over there. So these ones, what I did is I ended up cutting two papers and using the same side of all the papers. Now somewhere I have hidden away the frames that I cut out, but let me show you what that looks like. So here is the same frame, so I used the base, and what I did is I pop dotted the second cut. So I cut two papers. One I just left squares, and the other one I fussy cut the flowers out of it. And then of course I added some glitter glue to make it sparkly. So let me just show you a few of those. And here's another one that's three-dimensional. There we go. That's three-dimensional and sparkly. My camera seems to want to try to do multiple adjustments. There we go. Another one. And here's another one. Three-dimensional with sparkle, and I think I used that one on here. So you can see how you can upscale these with a little bit of glitter glue. Make them all sparkly. Here's another one. And another one. So multiple ways that you can use them, just as the bases, and then I guess it's decoupaged on top, but with pop dots. You can use them, which are this variety, or you can use them on a plain base and cut the frame out and use the frame and then pop dot. Shaker card. Okay. And plain background with a simple sentiment, and of course you're going to decorate it. And that's what I have for you today. So easy way to use up some of your leftover bits and pieces of, I guess they call them cut aparts or journal spots or whatever. So this gives you an option of the different things that you can do with those. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you later. Bye till next week.